Hi, welcome back. I'm Ben, the Burnt Out Chef, and today we're going to be using these amazing ingredients to make an absolutely delicious Eggs Benedict. Hope you enjoy it. So first, to make the English muffins, in a medium bowl, we're going to put 150 grams of whole milk, 150 grams of filtered water, get that to about 40 degrees Celsius, and then add in 14 grams of instant yeast. Now we're going to mix it in well and cover it and let it sit for 10 minutes to bloom. Now, in a large bowl, add 600 grams of strong white bread flour, 8 grams of salt, 15 grams of sugar. Give that a good mix together. Now, add in the bloomed yeast mixture. I added it in 2 stages. It doesn't really matter though. Then now combine it to sort of a rough crumbly dough. Now add 35 grams of melted unsalted butter. If you don't have unsalted, just lay off on the salt earlier. And now roughly mix this into a shaggy dough. Some flour will remain. This is fine and normal, but you can knead it in. Because we're now going to knead the dough on an unfloured surface, just using the flour from the bowl, for 8 to 10 minutes until we get a very smooth, soft, supple dough. Now you can use all your weight to do this. Just take your time. It might take longer than your first time. You've never kneaded dough before. And now it's nice and smooth. Roll it into a ball and give it a little slap. Now, oil a bowl. Don't put too much oil in, make sure it's all covered, and put your ball of dough in. And you're going to cover this with a damp tea towel and let it proof for an hour in a warm place. I tend to use an oven with just the light on, no heat at all, just the light. And now it's proof for an hour. Punch it down to release all the gases. Lightly flour a clean surface. Turn out the dough onto the surface. Flour the top of it. If you're using a wooden roller pin, flour that too. And now roll it out to about 19mm thick, or about 3/4 of an inch. Not too accurate, it's going to proof again so it doesn't matter. Now, cut out your English muffin rounds. I'm using an 88mm cutter, but any sort of large cutter will do. And you can re-roll your dough out in the offcuts, you don't want to waste it. You just spent an hour and a half making it. Just cut the rest of them out. I ended up getting 9 out of this mix. It'll always be slightly different because different flours hydrate differently. Now, put some either semolina flour, polenta, or cornmeal, depending on what you can get, in the bottom of a deep tray. Like that. And put all your English muffin dough rounds into it, making sure to coat every surface so they don't stick together. And put some more on top and make sure you get some in between the gaps. This will stop everything from sticking when it proofs for the second time, because it can get quite big. Now cover with the same damp tea towel and let proof for half an hour to 45 minutes. Lightly oil your pan and spread it around with a brush. You don't want the blob in the middle. And now lay in your English muffins. Don't overcrowd it, but you want to leave some room. And splash a little bit of water in before you put the lid on. You have to put the lid in very fast after. Now, after about 8 minutes, flip. Should be a nice dark golden brown on the bottom. Splash a little bit more water in and put the lid on quickly. This helps it cook through the steam. Now, the golden brown on both sides should have reached 88 degrees Celsius internally. Any more than 100 is overcooked, but it's very hard to do this way. Now, put your pan on, half full of water, this is to make a bain-marie, and crack 2 egg yolks into a bowl that's larger than the pan. Be very careful not to get any white at all in this, it'll ruin it. Just take your time when you're cracking them. Add 20 grams of lemon juice, 4 to 6 grams of salt, depending on taste, and whisk it together. Now, get 185 grams of butter cubed, and set it to one side. Put your egg over the top of the bain-marie, and put 1 cube of butter in. You want this to go pale and slightly thick before you put any more in. And then slowly add your butter, 1 cube at a time, once the last one's melted. This will make sure it doesn't overcook. You also want to periodically lift the bowl up to release some steam, or it will just get too hot inside. You don't want the water to be any more than just simmering, because when you put the bowl on, it'll act as a lid and make it get a lot hotter. Now it's thickened. It's all combined without splitting. Just put it back over the bain-marie and keep cooking it until the consistency to just very well cover the back of a spoon, and then pour it out into a insulated flask to keep hot. If you let it go cold, it'll be ruined. So now we're going to use our cut that we used before to cut out some rounds of ham. You can leave it whole slices, but rounds look nicer. If it doesn't quite fit, just cut a little extra bit out and fill the gap in. You can hide it with the hollandaise. I like to use 2 slices per half of English muffin, like the lot of ham. And now, using a fork, split the English muffin in 2. Just push the fork in all the way around the outside. Now you get it in half, and it's still nice and bumpy, so when you toast it, it'll be nice and tasty. So now, get a large pan, half full of water, and add a good splash of vinegar, white vinegar, to it. This is for your poached eggs, it just helps the whites stay together. And toast your English muffin and warm up your ham. Now, crack your 2 eggs into ramekins. Get your water so it's just simmering and heavily steaming. Slightly swirl it, not too fast, and pour 1 egg into the centre of the little vortex in the middle of the pan. After that's started to cook, you can do the same with the other egg. I have chef hands, so I can check them this way. Just do it carefully if your hands aren't like mine. Once they're cooked, turn them out onto a plate with some kitchen paper on. Sprays all the water off because you don't want a soggy Benedict. That's done. So now it's plating time. Put your 2 halves of your English muffin on, layer with your ham, or pan-fried spinach or smoked salmon to make a Florentino Royale. Add your eggs. And then, using a bar spoon or anything long, give your hollandaise a good mix in the flask and then pour it out onto the eggs. Use as much as you want. Now, I didn't have any chives when I was filming this, so I garnished with freshly ground black pepper, cayenne pepper, and Malden finishing salt. Don't use too much of this or it'll be way too salty. Now, best part. Time for tasting. Oh, gotta cut in here. And cut here. Come on. I'm hungry now. Come on, get on the fork. And as you can see, by my shaky hands of approval, thumbing the counter and looking at, it's absolutely delicious. So, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, it really helps me out. Bye!